Hello and welcome back to another marvelous anime video. Today we're discussing surrealism in anime. Surrealism is an art movement that originated in the 1920s. It focuses on dreams and the unconscious mind. Surrealism found its way to animation early on. Surreal techniques were applied by experimental filmmakers in Europe and America to disrupt storytelling. In Japan, surrealism was merged with local culture and film styles. This produced some mind-bending anime. Surrealism in anime has become its own genre over time. Today, anime treats surrealism as a way of exploring shifting identities and time looping. It works with sound and editing to confuse and unveil emotion. It challenges the audience to perceive the world in a new light, frequently exceeding what appears to be real. Surrealism influenced the history of anime both through early experiments and modern hits. It changed the way stories are told and felt. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the best surreal anime out there. Each one bends reality and shatters minds in its own unique way, so let's get into it. Tatami Galaxy. The main character never even gets named. He's in his third year at Kyoto University and he wants the perfect college life. Every time he makes a choice, the world resets. New club, new chaos. He starts with the film club. He gets stuck under Yogasaki, a bossy upperclassman, and things fall apart fast. In the next timeline, he answers a call for followers. Now it's Ozu and Akashi and their boss Higuchi. They run odd jobs but mostly land in trouble. Another reset. He joins a strange softball cult. He leaves but not before getting caught in one of Ozu's wild plans. Lastly, he picks a shady group called Lucky Cat. They get what they want by any means. That's when he bails for good. Ozu keeps showing up. He's devious, he ruins stuff, but he's the closest thing to a friend. Akashi is different. She's smart and reserved. She holds a keychain he found for her. Their connection means something, even if the universe keeps shifting. Higuchi looks like a greedy old monk, but he gives good advice. Yogasaki is full of himself. Hanuki drinks too much, but talks to everybody. The student wonders every time if picking something else would fix his life, but it never does. He always gets Ozu. He always meets Akashi. No matter where he runs, the same faces come back doing new things. He visits a fortune teller, and she says he'll have one big shot. It doesn't matter what he decides, it will happen. The big word she gives him is Colossio. He keeps finding hints, but he doesn't get it until he lands in an endless maze of tatami rooms. 80 days. Each room is a possible life he wasted. He thinks he's alone forever, then he realizes he misses his friends, his club, and even Akashi. He was never going to get that perfect campus life, and that's okay. Each timeline ends with chaos, moths, and a bridge. The story leaves you thinking about choices, friendship, and regret without tying everything up neatly. Angel's Egg. 1985. The setting of Angel's Egg is a world stripped down to old ruins, strange forests, a shoreline, and an odd artificial sun in the sky. The land feels distant from anything familiar. Only two people move through this place. One is a girl who holds tight to a large egg. She believes the egg will bring something miraculous. She roams deserted buildings and empty streets. The second figure is a boy who arrives riding a vehicle like a tank. He carries a cross-shaped item and speaks little. The girl and the boy cross paths. He asks her about the egg and if she'll ever open it. She recoils at the idea and avoids him. Still, she eventually lets him walk alongside her as they share a silent understanding. His curiosity about the egg grows. He tells her a very different story about Noah's Ark. The animals don't find land in this version. The dove leaves and never comes back. The world keeps drifting. The boy wonders if the bird was ever real. The girl believes the bird exists. She leads him to an ancient fossil that she claims is an angel. While the girl sleeps, the boy shatters her egg with his cross. She wakes up in horror and chases after him. Running blindly, she ends up plunging into deep water. What happens next is even more dreamlike and nearly without words. Her breath rises to the surface and turns into many new eggs. When the boy sees her next, she's a statue, among others, beside the strange sun that dominates the sky. The film closes with a view that pulls away to reveal the whole land balanced on a shape like an overturned ship. Angel's Egg feels mysterious and draws viewers into its puzzle. Mind Game 2004. Nishi is a 20-year-old NEET from Osaka with big dreams of becoming a comic book artist. One night, he meets his childhood crush, Mion, on the subway. She takes him to her family's yakitori restaurant where he meets her family and fiance. Things quickly get dangerous when the Yakuza show up looking for trouble. Nishi gets caught in a violent moment and is tragically shot. He finds himself in a weird state of limbo where he keeps reliving his death. There, he meets Kami-sama, who is a god whose form constantly shifts. Kami-sama teases Nishi and attempts to remove him, but Nishi's fierce will to live breaks through and he gets a second chance. Nishi struggles to live and save his friends as he's about to die. They run away to a huge whale where an old man is living a solitary life. The characters find room to grow and connect inside the surreal refuge. They develop their own rhythms away from the chasing violence outside. the story loops back with subtle changes, a reminder that life's story keeps moving. "This story has never ended" is a phrase that the story actually ends with. It implies that life's twists and turns don't end in a beautiful manner. Each decision gives rise to new possibilities. Mind Game shows you that no matter how many times you face death or change, the story of living keeps going, always offering new directions and chances because living is the only way through. Cat Soup, 2001. Cat Soup tells the story of two siblings who are cats. Nyako is sick. She stays in bed. Nyata nearly dies in the bathtub. He falls unconscious. While in this state, he sees Nyako walking away with Jizo. Jizo is a spirit that guides lost souls. Nyata wants to save his sister, so he tries to reach her, but Nyako's soul is split. Part of it remains with Jizo, the other part goes with Nyata. Jizo forms a flower from his half before leaving. Nyata's father helps him recover, but the family thinks Nyako cannot be saved. Nyata returns the half soul and Nyako lives again, but she seems empty. Her eyes show nothing. Their mother sends them outside to get tofu and they visit a circus on the way. The show ends when a glass bird is destroyed. This makes a flood wash everything away. Nyata and Nyako escape on a small boat but are joined by a pig. Nyata opens the pig's body to get food and gives it to everyone. God lifts the world above his hand. Water drains away, which leaves the siblings and the pig stranded in a vast dry area. Nyata loses his arm when bitten by the pig and a woman repairs Nyata's arm. The siblings move forward and find a home. Inside, a man offers them food and tries to cook them in a pot. Nyata learns the man is a machine and stops him. Nyata and Nyako wander through the dry desert. They're thirsty and weak, and Nyata digs into the sand, discovering an elephant made from water. The elephant cools them, but then fades away. Time and space stop for a moment, and everything is frozen. Then time rushes forward and jumps back. Many odd things appear quickly. The siblings end up back on a boat in open water. Cat Soup is really strange. It uses many surreal moments to tell its story, and the film looks at life and death through odd events and changing worlds. Kyoso Giga, 2013. A long time ago, a priest named Myoe had a gift. Whatever he drew would come to life. This weird power intimidated the people of his village, so he moved back to the mountains where he penned pages with his new works. One of these was a mysterious city called Mirror Capital, based in Kyoto. He also brought a rabbit named Koto onto the paper, turning her into the city's guardian after striking a bargain with a heavenly figure. Lady Koto soon became close to Myoe. Later, they took in a boy who had lost his family in the war, calling him Yakushimaru. The group later settled in Mirror Capital, hoping for peace. Myoe gave Yakushimaru two siblings, Yase and Kurama, by drawing them into existence. Together, the family enjoyed good times until Lady Koto had to depart. Her agreement with the savior figure was complete, so she left. Before going, Myoe handed Yakushimaru the responsibilities of the temple and gave him the beads used in prayer. He promised to come back, bringing something new and something final. Much time passed. Yakushimaru led Mirror Capital with Yase and Kurama at his side, forming a council. All waited for their parents' return. One day, a girl named Koto arrived. She resembled both Myoe and Lady Koto. Her appearance was unusual. None had entered Mirror Capital in that way before. Koto stayed with Yakushimaru and searched for a way to leave. She also hoped to learn more about where she came from. Kurama devised a strategy to break open the gate connecting worlds. He enlisted help from Bishimaru, a giant figure made of unbreakable stone, and worked with Koto. This move allowed Lady Koto to come back. Her return, though, set off a chain response that might unmake all the worlds tied to Mirror Capital. The Shrine, a hidden organization that preserves multiverse order, soon intervened. Kyoso Giga explores bonds between people in a world full of shifting realities. Sonny Boy, 2021. This story begins in the middle of summer vacation. Nagata is a third-year middle school student. He, his class, transfer student Nozomi, and the aloof Mizuho are suddenly transported to another dimension. They call this place this world. It works differently from their world. It possesses its own rules and physics. In their attempts to get back home, they realize that not all of them are normal. Meanwhile, they're having a hard time with their evolving relationships. Conflicts arise and the class splits into two groups. Each group continues its journey through this world. Along the way, they meet other students. Some of these students have been trapped in other versions of this world for thousands of years. Sonny Boy isn't easy to follow, but it focuses on how the characters feel and react as the show looks at growing up in a confusing world. It shows how people change when everything around them is uncertain. Viewers who enjoy narratives that question ideas and character-centered stories will like this series. Sonny Boy historically belongs to a tradition of anime that relies on surreal settings to discuss human struggle. It's a reminder of works that challenge our very existence and concentrate on the inner world of the characters. Its modern environment and animation design help it appeal to the modern audience, whereas its multi-layered plotting encourages reflection. The art combines the simplicity of the character designs with the abstract and shifting backgrounds. This is a balance that keeps attention but highlights alienation. Welcome to Irabu's office. Irabu works at Irabu General Hospital. Irabu is unusual and a bit immature. He likes giving injections to his patients, sometimes too much. During his student days, Irabu often misunderstood lectures. He was seen as a nuisance at medical school. He first went into pediatrics but had problems with young patients. Because of tantrums and fights, he switched to psychiatry. There are some doubts about his grades. The show follows different patients who come to Irabu for help. In every episode, a new patient will have a unique set of problems. As an example, there's a trapeze artist with insomnia, a gangster who fears knives, and a businessman who has an unusual condition. Irabu's treatments seem strange. His advice can be confusing, yet his methods help patients look inside themselves. He guides them toward mental healing in his own odd way. His assistant, Mayumi, is a composed nurse who takes care of the patients and Irabu. The animation style is a combination of traditional and live action. This contributes to the surreal and quirky atmosphere. The patients' heads sometimes change into animal shapes after receiving shots. Plots interlink with characters that are present across episodes. Welcome to Irabu Office is a humorous but heartfelt look at mental health. It shows how people deal with inner struggles and chaos. The series unwraps the complexity of the human mind in creative ways as it portrays the difficulties in mental health and self-development. Welcome to Irabu Office is extremely unique and humane in the way it depicts psychiatry. Belladonna of Sadness. Belladonna of Sadness uses bold imagery and sound to tell a dark tale of pain and power. Jean and her husband Jean are newlyweds in a small village. On their wedding night, Jean is violently attacked by the local baron and his men. She returns to Jean scared and heartbroken. Jean tries to calm her and says they can start over, but soon after, Jean strangles Jean until she loses consciousness. He feels ashamed and runs away. That night, Jean sees visions of a strange spirit with a phallic head. The spirit says it heard her call for help. It offers her power and promises to grow stronger with her wish. This changes everything. The Baron raises taxes to pay for his war. A famine hits the village. Jean gets the job of tax collector but can't collect enough money. The Baron ends up cutting off his hand. Jean falls into despair and drinks heavily. The spirit returns and forces himself on Jean for more power and wealth. Jean's body belongs to the spirit, but she says her soul still belongs to Jean and God. Jean borrows some money and ends up starting her own business. She becomes a real power in the village. The Baron returns from war. His wife is jealous of Jean's influence and she calls Jean a witch and makes the villagers turn against her. Jean elopes but is wounded and isolated. Soldiers come for her arrest. She escapes into the forest and there she meets the spirit once more. He reveals that he's the devil and they make a deal. Jean gets magical powers. She returns to a village hit by the plague and she uses her powers to cure the disease. The people turn to her for help. Jean leads strange rites with the villagers. A page falls in love with the Baron's wife and Jean helps the page with a love potion. The Baron catches them and kills them both. Jean reconciles with Jean when the Baron invites her to a meeting. The Baron offers her a high rank if she shares her cure. Jean says she wants to take over the whole world. The villagers are angry. The story ends with a warning. If a witch burns proud, her spirit lives on to spread. Marvelous verdict. And that brings us to the end of this video. The emotional center of each of the anime here has an illogical appeal to the human experience. Which of these surreal tales impressed you the most? Did anything change the way you see anime or storytelling? Let us know your thoughts down below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe too. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay marvelous.